You think you've grown up, that you've moved on, that the past is behind you. You look in the mirror and see an adult. You speak with confidence. You pay your bills. You make plans. But beneath all of it, beneath the clothes, the structure, the performance, your childhood still holds the strings. Carl Jung called them complexes, emotional clusters buried deep in the psyche, formed in the early years, charged with memory and pain. They are not just ideas. They are living energies, and they shape your life like ghosts whispering through your choices. You think you're making decisions. You're not. You're reenacting scenes. You're responding to a voice that isn't yours. You are trapped in a psychic time loop, a loop formed in the forgotten corridors of your childhood. And until you turn inward and face that child, really face them, you will live your whole life on a leash that no one else can see. Jung didn't invent the idea of the inner child. He revealed its power. He understood that the psyche is not linear, that time inside you does not move forward. It circles, it spirals, and every moment of unresolved pain becomes a frozen image, stuck in the unconscious, waiting to be seen, to be heard, to be released. But most people never go back. They keep running forward, hoping that more success, more love, more distraction will silence the voice of the child within. But it never does, because the child doesn't want to be ignored. The child wants to be healed. And when it's not, it speaks through your life in symbols, in triggers, in relationships. That is the loop. You keep attracting the same partners, the same betrayals, the same fears. Not because you're broken, but because the child in you is screaming through your reality, asking you to stop pretending. You say you're independent, but you still flinch at the thought of abandonment. You say you're confident, but you still shrink when someone disapproves. You say you're strong, but your strength is just armor, forged in the fires of a childhood where softness was dangerous. And Jung would say the complex is in control. It has hijacked your ego. You are no longer living, you are reacting. And here's the tragedy. It feels normal. Because it started so early, it became the lens through which you see the world. The father who never saw you becomes the boss who criticizes you. The mother who smothered you becomes the partner who drowns you in expectations. You think it's fate, but it's repetition. You are not cursed. You are haunted. And the haunting ends when you stop trying to escape and start learning to listen. Jung taught that the goal of life is individuation, the process of becoming whole. Not perfect, not successful, whole. That means bringing all the parts of you back into unity, even the ones you left behind, especially the ones you left behind. And no part is more exiled, more buried, more ignored than the child, because to return to the child is to return to the wound, to the abandonment, to the fear, to the loneliness. And most people would rather bleed in silence than feel what they felt back then. But until you do, you are not free. You are not sovereign. You are a grown body moving through the world with a terrified child pulling the strings. Jung said the unconscious does not forget. It waits. And every time you get triggered, every time you overreact, every time you sabotage love or run from truth or collapse under pressure, that is the child. Not weak, not pathetic, just unheard. And the more you push them away, the louder they become. They show up in your dreams, in your fights, in the stillness you avoid, because they are not gone. They are frozen, and you cannot outrun what lives inside you. You cannot outgrow what you refuse to face. You cannot dominate what you have not yet embraced. Your childhood is not the past. It is the foundation. And if that foundation is cracked, you will keep building the same collapsing house over and over. New city, new job, new lover. Same breakdown. Because the break is inside, and it will echo until it is met with presence. Jung spoke of the shadow, the parts of us we do not want to see. The child is one of those shadows, because to look at them is to admit that we are still affected, that we are still carrying the weight, that we are not as free as we pretend. But that's where the healing is. That's where the strength is. In the gaze, in the return, in the quiet voice that says, I'm here now. I see you. I know what they did. I know what you felt. And I'm not running anymore. This is the journey back. Not to relive the pain, but to release it. Not to get stuck in the story, but to rewrite it. Because the child doesn't need you to change the past. They need you to stop abandoning them in the present. They need you to stop silencing them when they cry out. Every trigger is their cry. Every panic is their signal. Every wall you build is their defense. And the moment you listen, the moment you hold them, the moment you stop shaming them for being afraid, is the moment they begin to trust you. And when they trust you, they stop screaming. The loop begins to loosen. You don't heal by forgetting. You heal by remembering, by going back, not with the same eyes, but with the eyes of compassion. You become the parent you never had, the protector you always needed. And in doing so, you reclaim the years you lost. Because time in the psyche is not like time in the world. It folds, it waits, it circles. And what was frozen at 6 years old still lives in your 30-year-old heart, still pulls the strings of your 40-year-old fear, still shapes the silence in your relationships. This is why growth isn't linear. It's spiral. You keep coming back to the same place, but each time with more awareness. And that awareness is what frees you. Jung didn't say healing was easy. He said it was essential. He knew that without facing the child, without integrating the complex, we live our lives half awake, thinking we're adults, but acting from scripts written by a younger, frightened version of ourselves. And until we stop and say, enough. I will not repeat what broke me. I will not abandon myself again. We remain stuck. But the moment we do, something shifts, something ancient, something sacred. The child begins to trust, the psyche begins to realign, and the future begins to change. Not because the world changed, but because the one seeing it did. You want peace? Go back. You want power? Go back. You want to stop attracting pain? Go back. Not to suffer, but to retrieve. To retrieve the pieces of yourself you left behind because it was too dangerous to be whole. You cut them off to survive. And now, you must return to survive in a different way. Not in fear, but in truth. The inner child is not a weakness. It is your compass, your innocence, your blueprint. And the complex is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It repeats because it wants resolution. It hurts because it wants healing. It sabotages because it wants wholeness. And the loop ends when you step in, not to avoid, but to embrace, to hold, to love, to reintegrate. This is what Jung meant. This is why your childhood still controls you. Not because you are broken, but because you are unfinished. And your soul, wise, fierce, eternal, will not let you move forward until you come back for what you left behind. So go back. Find the child, sit with them, speak gently, hold their fear, mourn their pain, and then walk forward together as one, whole, awakened, free.